gbọ́ yìí o. Ẹ ẹ káàbọ̀ màmá Jẹ́nìkẹ́ ẹ káàbọ̀ ẹ ṣé gan ni mà. Ṣé aró pọ̀ ní ó dàbí pé aró jẹ́ nìyẹn fẹ́ pọ̀ díẹ̀. Please, can you hear me clearly? Please, let us tap and share the light. Ó dàbí pé aró yìí tó pọ̀ díẹ̀. I'll start the program now. Yeah, thank you for the gifts, Adenike Shegonima. So today we are going to look at IFA information theory. Um, so I'm going to discuss, break down the concepts so that everybody can understand it. So the subject information theory is studied in mathematics. How? Please, am I audible? Please, am I audible? Hope you can hear me clearly. Ẹ̀rẹ̀ ṣé à ń gbọ́ nǹkan tí mò ń sọ dáadáa? Am I audible to? So we want to examine information theory. We look at it from the perspective of Western education. Okay, it's very loud. It's the generator. Then they're having a party around there. That's the cause of the loudness. So information theory. I'm going to deliver the lecture in both Yoruba and English languages. So máa ṣe ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ yìí ní èdè abínibí wa àti Gẹ̀ẹ́sì. So ẹ̀kọ́ tí à ń pè ní information theory. Okay, let me first explain what we mean by information theory in English language, and then talk about some of its applications. Then I also discuss it from the perspective of IFA, what IFA says about information theory, which is called IFA information theory. So we are going to we discuss some of the topic today. Then we are going to finish the remaining part on Thursday. Then by next weekend we are going to move to another topic entirely under IFA computing and IFA education system. So we have a low number of so information. The word information in our daily usage means knowledge that is obtained from books, conversations, the internet, and other sources. That is the meaning of information in daily usage. Information. The word information means different things in different contexts. So in the context of information theory, which was a field developed and formalized by the American mathematician Claude Shannon, information refers to the measure of surprise or uncertainty reduction in a message. So in information theory, the word information has to do with how the extent that we can reduce surprise or uncertainty in a message. So the notion here is that the more unpredictable a message is, the more information that it carries. So if the message is not, if it's exact, if it's not predictable, then it's going to carry less information. So yeah, the focus in information theory is that we want to reduce the level of surprise or uncertainty in the message that we receive. In computer science, information is data that is organized and processed in such a way that it can be stored, retrieved, or transmitted. Now, why is this thing is supposed to be? I don't know what is wrong with this. Why is we come and show? Okay, I think it's clear now. So that information means different things in different contexts. So the daily usage that people the daily usage of the term as I've already explained that. So I'm going to break down the concept of information theory so that we can understand it. So in the field of information theory, we are looking, the concern is that we want to reduce the uncertainty that we have in the message received. So the measure of the reduction of that uncertainty is what is called information. So is the usage here is a bit different from the one that we are used to when we use the word information in our everyday conversation. Yeah, in information theory it's all about the word information is all about uncertainty reduction or surprise reduction. You don't want any surprises. You want the message to be exact, the what is being conveyed to be clear and have no ambiguity. So it's a field of mathematics. Information theory is a branch of applied mathematics and electrical engineering that studies the quantification, storage, and communication of information. So, like the our communication system, our digital communication technologies, it was developed by applying this information theory. The theory was developed by Claude Shannon. Claude Shannon was an American mathematician. So he released a paper on it in 1948. The paper is titled a Mathematical Theory of Communication. So in that paper, he formalized what we call information theory today. And when engineers, when they applied his theory, the knowledge that he brought, they were able to develop different kind of digital communication systems for our internet, for our smartphones, our laptops, and even our encryption technology. What makes our ATM, our phones to be secure? One of the major tools used there is this information theory. So we measure information. As you know, that science is all about measurement. Science is a field of measurements. So we measure information in binary digits, bits, which I explained in the previous class. So that's the basic unit of information is bits, binary digits. So I'm also going to explain all this in Yoruba language so that you can understand it better. So the field of information theory lies at the intersection of mathematics, electronic engineering, electrical engineering, statistics, neurobiology, computer science, and physics. So the field is very, very broad. So I'm just going to do a summary this night. So we have applications of information theory include our communication systems. That's good. So applications of information theory include our communication systems, that's our mobile phones, the internet, our laptop, machine learning and AI. You know that we are in the era of AI now, ChatGPT. So one of the major tools, major frameworks that allow AI to work is information theory. Then we have data storage, we have cryptography, and many other applications. So let's stop there for now. So information theory is the study of encoding, transmitting, and decoding information. So uses of the theory involves data compression, the artificial intelligence. When we want the pin on our phone, the password on our phone, the pin for our ATM, all these security encryption tools. One of the major tools that make them to work. One of the major frameworks that was used to develop them is this information theory. So information theory, we are all about how can we store, how can we encode information, how can we transmit information, how can we decode information. So ẹ jẹ́ kí n ṣàlàyé nǹkan tí mo sọ ní èdè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì kí n ṣàlàyé fún wa ní èdè abínibí wa. So information theory, why is this still not showing? So this is it. So ìbẹ̀rẹ̀ àti bẹ̀rẹ̀ information theory lélẹ̀. So ẹ̀kọ́ tí à ń pè ní information theory ní èdè abínibí wa ó túmọ̀ sí àlàyé ìjìnlẹ̀ ìró. Ìró ni à ń pè ní information. Tá bá ní èèyàn kan mú ìró wá fún, ó mú ìró wá fún mi, that's someone brought information for me. So ìró ni ìtumọ̀ information ní èdè abínibí wa. So mo mọ̀ pé tá bá ń gbọ́ ìròyìn, tá bá ní ìròyìn sí àmọ́ pé ìròyìn ìró ni oní bí irú ìròyìn kan là ń pè ní ìró kan là ń pè ní ìròyìn. Ìròyìn ìtumọ̀ ẹ̀ ní news ní èdè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì. So information ni ó túmọ̀ sí ìró. So why theory, nǹkan tí theory túmọ̀ sí ní èdè abínibí wa ni àlàyé ìjìnlẹ̀. So ẹ̀kọ́ tí à ń pè ní information theory ní Yorùbá ó túmọ̀ sí àlàyé ìjìnlẹ̀ ìró. Àlàyé ìjìnlẹ̀ yìí nǹkan tó dálé lórí ni ká máa mú ìmúlò ìṣirò tí à ń pè ní applied mathematics. Nǹkan tẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ìdálé lórí ni applied mathematics pẹ̀lú ìmọ̀ ètè mọ̀nàmọ́ná, that's tí à ń pè ní electrical engineering. Àárín ẹ̀kọ́ ìṣirò, ìmúlò ìṣirò tí à ń pè ní applied mathematics àti ìmọ̀ ètè mọ̀nàmọ́ná tí à ń pè ní electrical engineering ní ẹ̀kọ́ information theory yìí ni ó wà, tó tá à ń pè ní àlàyé ìjìnlẹ̀ ìró. So nǹkan tí ẹ̀kọ́ yìí ń dá lé lórí náà ni pé báwo la ṣe lè lo ìró, báwo la ṣe lè fi ìró pamọ́, báwo la ṣe lè lo ìró láti fi sọ̀rọ̀. Bí màá ti bá ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ ń sìn, ẹ̀kọ́ information theory ni à ń lò. Òun ló jẹ́ kí àwọn ẹ̀rọ ayárabíàṣá wa, ẹ̀rọ ayélujára tí à ń pè ní internet, ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ tí à ń pè ní smartphone. Àlàyé ní nǹkan gbòógì nínú àwọn kan gbòógì tí ó ń jẹ́ kí ó ṣiṣẹ́. Information theory ni gbogbo àwọn ẹ̀rọ yìí ni wọ́n fi ń ṣiṣẹ́. Àwọn ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ olóòkà gbogbo wọn pátápátá. Ètò yìí, ẹ̀kọ́ yìí ni àwọn òyìnbó, ni àwọn èèyàn dúdú, àwọn onímọ̀ ni wọ́n fi ṣe àgbékalẹ̀. So ta ló ṣe àgbékalẹ̀ ẹ̀kọ́ yìí? Òun ni aláwọ̀ funfun, ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n ìṣirò aláwọ̀ funfun tá à ń pè ní Claude Shannon. Òun ni ó ṣe àgbékalẹ̀ ìmọ̀ ìjìnlẹ̀ yìí ní ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n ẹ̀kọ́ ìṣirò ní mathematics, ìmọ̀ ìjìnlẹ̀ ìṣirò, that's mathematical science. So tá bá fẹ́ wọn ìró, tá bá fẹ́ mọ ìwọ̀n ìró pé báwo ni ìró ṣe, báwo ló ṣe pọ̀ sí, báwo ló ṣe lè kéré sí, a máa ń lo nǹkan tá à ń pè ní ẹ̀ka láti fi ṣe ètò yìí. That's ẹ̀ka ni à ń pè ní bit, binary digit ní èdè abínibí wa. Òun náà fi mọ ìwọ̀n ìró, báwo ni ìró ṣe pọ̀ sí. Bí màá ti bá ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ sí àwọn ìró tí mo ń fún wa ó ní ìwọ̀n ẹ̀. Àpẹẹrẹ ni pé tó bá fẹ́ ra ẹgbàá tá à ń pè ní data, tó bá fẹ́ ra ẹgbàá data, a mọ̀ pé a lè ní a fẹ́ ra bíi 5 gig, a fẹ́ ra 10 gig, a fẹ́ ra 50 gig, a fẹ́ ra 10 MB. Gbogbo àwọn eléyìí sì ìwọ̀n ìró ni wọ́n. Ìwọ̀n ìró ni information. They are units that is used to measure information. And we measure information in bits, binary digits. Bits ni à ń pè ní ẹ̀ka ní èdè abínibí wa. So ìwọ̀n ìró nìyẹn. so tá a bá ní pé a fẹ́ lọ ra ẹ̀gbà a fẹ́ ra internet data pé à ń ra 10 gig 5 gig 60 gig gbogbo àwọn eléyìí sí ìwọ̀n ìró ni wọ́n information ni wọ́n tẹ́lẹ̀ ni tá a bá máa pe àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ yìí tá a bá máa pa àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ yìí já a ní bí 10 gig sí a ní 10 gigabytes byte yẹn sì bíìtì ní ọ̀nà mẹ́jọ là ń pè ní byte ẹ̀kàjọ là ń pè ní byte so ìwọ̀n ìró ni gbogbo àwọn eléyìí. Excuse me. So a ti sọ̀rọ̀ nípa sorry what the screen is supposed to be changing. So mo ti ṣàlàyé so ìfihàn ní eléyìí ìfihàn sí ẹ̀kọ́ tí a ń pè ní information theory àlàyé ìjìnlẹ̀ ìró so a ti ṣe introduction tá à ń pè ní ìfihàn báyìí mo ti ṣàlàyé fọ́nrán yìí ẹ jẹ́ kí n bọ́ sí fọ́nrán tí ó tẹ̀lé níbí báyìí so níbí báyìí a fẹ́ mọ ìbáṣepọ̀ tí ó wà láàárín ẹ̀kọ́ yìí àti àwọn ẹ̀kọ́ mìíràn ẹ̀kọ́ tá à ń pè ní àlàyé ìjìnlẹ̀ ìró information theory ó wà ní ọ̀gbọ́gbọ́ ibi táwọn ẹ̀kọ́ oríṣiríṣi tí wọ́n ti pàdé ara wọn that is the intersection point the point of intersection ibẹ̀ ni ẹ̀kọ́ yìí wà àwọn ẹ̀kọ́ tó wà tí wọ́n pàdé ara wọn níbí báyìí ni ẹ̀kọ́ ìṣirò tá à ń pè ní mathematics ìmọ̀ ète mọ̀nàmọ́ná tá à ń pè ní electrical engineering ìmọ̀ ẹ̀rọ mọ̀nàmọ́ná tá à ń pè ní electronic engineering ìmọ̀ ayárabíàṣá tá à ń pè ní computer science ìmọ̀ àrígbéwọ̀n tí à ń pè ní physics àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ so ibi táwọn ìmọ̀ yìí ti pàdéra wọn ní information theory ni ló ti ṣẹ̀ wá ní àlàyé ìjìnlẹ̀ ìró tó ti ṣẹ̀ wá so ó so mọ́ àwọn ìmọ̀ oríṣiríṣi tí ó pọ̀ ṣùgbọ́n èyí tó jẹ́ gbòógì nínú ìmọ̀ tí ó so mọ́ gangan ni ìmọ̀ ìṣirò mathematics so information theory mostly lies within the purview of mathematics ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n ìṣirò mathematician ni ó ṣe àgbékalẹ̀ ètò ẹ̀kọ́ yìí so kí ni ìwúlò àlàyé ìjìnlẹ̀ ìró yìí kí ni ìwúlò ìmọ̀ yìí kí ni ìwúlò ẹ̀kọ́ yìí a fi máa ń ṣe àgbékalẹ̀ àwọn ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ oríṣiríṣi bíi fóònù wa ni o ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ kọ̀ǹpútà ẹ̀rọ ayárabíàṣá internet ẹ̀rọ ayélujára gbogbo àwọn ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ oríṣiríṣi bó ṣe wọ́pọ̀ ní oríṣiríṣi so a máa ń fi ètò yìí a máa ń fi ẹ̀kọ́ yìí láti fi ṣe ìgbékalẹ̀ wọn a máa ń lò fún láti ṣe ìgbékalẹ̀ ẹ̀rọ tá à ń pè ní AI ọgbọ́n àtọwọ́dá ẹ jẹ́ ká power tap ẹ jẹ́ ká share live so that a lè ní larger audience please let us power tap and share the live. So ìtumọ̀ ìwúlò ìmọ̀ yìí ni a ti mọ̀ ń ṣàlàyé so ìmọ̀ AI ni ó gbòde kan báyìí sí artificial intelligence à ń pè ní ọgbọ́n àtọwọ́dá tá bá fẹ́ ṣe ẹ̀kọ́ tá bá fẹ́ ṣe gbékalẹ̀ ẹ̀rọ yìí AI a máa ń lo ẹ̀kọ́ yìí náà tá à ń pè ní information theory àlàyé ìjìnlẹ̀ ìró. So information theory àwọn òyìnbó ni wọ́n ṣe àgbékalẹ̀ ti eléyìí etí ṣùgbọ́n nínú bóyìnbó tó mú kọ́ tó mọ nǹkan tó ní ìmọ̀ yìí ni a ti ní information theory tí ní Ifá náà ní àlàyé ìjìnlẹ̀ ìró títí ẹ̀ òun la fẹ́ ṣe ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ní orí ẹ̀ ń sìn tí tí so àwọn babaláwo àwọn yanífá ló máa ń lo ètò yìí ju tinú ifá àwọn ló máa ń lò ìyẹn tó wá gbòòrò ó tún kẹ́lí ju ti ó tún rinlẹ̀ ju ti òyìnbó lọ. so tá a bá wo ọkọ tó ń ṣe so tá a bá wo fọ́nrán tó wà lójú fọ́nrán yìí odùfá ní ilé ojú odù mẹ́rìndínlógún ní ilé láti èjì ogbè títí dé òfin méjì. tá a bá wo eléyìí sí a rí pé àwọn báwọn odù ẹ bọ́ ṣe wà àwọn náà wọ́n ní ọ̀rọ̀ tí wọ́n ń sọ. They are passing information, they are conveying some information to us, and the experts that are trained to decode the information that is being conveyed from this system, they are called Babalawos and Yanifa. So this is the information theory in IFA. Now this system that we are looking at is actually a mathematical framework. This is the IFA information. IFA information is holistic information. Its own information cuts across all areas of knowledge. Like I was telling us the other time that information theory, what we call information theory as a field, it lies within mathematics. It started from mathematics, engineering, computer science, and the likes. So that information is only, that field is only restricted to those domains, especially mathematics. However, the information theory in IFA is actually very versatile. Òun náà ni à ń wò yìí bí information tẹ̀wé ìwà ń bíbá yìí sí gbogbo ẹ̀kọ́ ayé pátápátá ni ó kọ́bà gbogbo ẹ̀ pátápátá ni ó fọwọ́ kàn ló fọwọ́ bà. So the IFA information theory is much more versatile. As we are looking at each of these IFA codes, like Ejiogbe now can convey information on many subjects. As I explained in the previous last week in the previous program, you can talk about information on marriage, health, arts, science, physics, anything, marketing, history, politics. The same thing applies to Oyeku méjì, Ìwòrì méjì, títí dé táwọn fi dé òfin méjì. Gbogbo wọn pátápátá ni ó jẹ́ pé gbogbo ẹ̀kọ́ ayé ni wọ́n máa ń fúnyàn ní ìró ní ìmọ̀ nípa ẹ̀. So tinú Ifá ni eléyìí. So báwo la ṣe máa mọ bí ti òyìnbó ṣe tọmọ ti Ifá? For us to know how the information theory that was developed by the Americans is actually contained within IFA. They are contained within IFA. So how are we going to do that? So that's what we call IFA coding. When we learn IFA coding, that's one of the things that I'm teaching us here. When we learn IFA coding, we will be able to discover how information theory can be discovered, can be understood from the perspective of IFA, can be derived from IFA. For instance, the field of information theory itself, there's a specific Odu that gives birth to it. What we mean by Odu in this subject is that the energy of the field, the consciousness that you have of that field, your perception of that field, the underlying structure of that field, that's what we call Odu. So there's a specific Odu that gives birth to the field of information theory. That is what we study in IFA information. IFA information is a field of the IFA education system where we use the 256 Odu IFA to study that field of information theory. As I explained earlier, information theory is a field that has to do with the communication, storage, and encoding of information. We are interested in understanding how we can encode information, how we can process information, how we can decode information. That's what information theory is all about. Now, if I study this field using the Odu IFA, using the IFA, we call this Odu IFA, we call them, there are 256 of them. We call them IFA binary digits, IFA bits. I repeat, méjì ni gbogbo wa, méjì. They are all in twos. So that is IFA binary digit or the IFA binary system, ètò àlejò IFA. So tí a bá wo ètò yìí sí, ó ní àwọn formula tá a fi máa derive gbogbo àwọn concept of information theory, ó ní formula tá a fi derive them there. So nǹkan tá à ń pè ní IFA code nìyẹn. So IFA code ló máa jẹ́ ká mọ̀ bá ṣe máa derive our formula. So I'll be teaching this the knowledge gradually. I'll be explaining them gradually. Yeah, the class today will only last for 1 hour. So now I want to talk about IFA information so that you understand what I'm saying better. IFA, when I say IFA information, is what the IFA priest and priestesses use for divination. Whenever tó bá ń dáfá, gbogbo àwọn nǹkan táwọn babaláwo máa ń sọ, tó bá ní Ifá sọ báyìí o, Ọ̀rúnmìlà sọ báyìí, nǹkan tá à ń pè ní IFA information nìyẹn. But eléyìí ó kọ̀ wá more mathematical. That's the difference. Eléyìí wà more rigorous. Information eléyìí sí, you are applying it to develop fields of knowledge. You are using it to develop technologies. So it's much more robust and much more in-depth. Tí àwọn babaláwo, the own is covers the scope of divination, consultation, but this one is covers the scope of scientific and technology. So this one is much more robust and it's much more mathematical, as we are going to be discovering. So IFA information is the information for everything. So we call it info OE. So what do I mean by information for everything? I'm saying the information covers all subjects, all fields of knowledge, all areas of knowledge. For instance, as I explained earlier, each of them differ from a Diogo to Fumeji and their children. You know, each of them has 15 children. 15 children, making 16 in total. Plus, we take the mother, the source of the Akola for each of the sections. We take the Akola, that is 16 in total. So for each of them now, they carry information on all areas of knowledge. Every knowledge, everything, they cover everything. That's all. So that's why I call IFA information, the information for everything. That's info OE. So that is IFA, the language of IFA. So IFA information theory is the universe of all information theories, models, and systems. As I've been explaining before, anytime we talk, we say IFA. We mentioned IFA in this program. We are talking about universe of something. We are saying IFA information theory. We are talking about universe of information theory, universe of that field. Because in that field, information theory, you have many other information theories that many people don't even know about. You have models in that field. You have systems of information system. For instance, the internet now, our internet, the World Wide Web, is an information system. It's a global information system. So IFA is the universe of any field. So in the field of information theory, IFA information theory is the universe of all information theories. So I hope we can understand what I'm explaining. If there's any question, you can let me know. You can ask in the comment section. You can send a request to join the program as a guest. So IFA information theory, we shorten it as IFA info. So as I explained before, if you have the IFA itself, the old IFA system, it contains Okun IFA, Iroke IFA, Ide IFA, Okwele, Iki IFA. All those things used to do IFA divination. We call them IFA, the IFA system generally. And that system is actually a computer on its own. We call it the IFA computer. It's actually a special kind of computer. and is even much more advanced than than our modern computers. So IFA information refers to the output from an IFA computer that has been analyzed, contextualized, structured, interpreted or worked on in other ways of processing data in IFA language. So IFA language ni àwọn babaláwo máa ń pè ní èdè ọ̀pẹ. So tí wọ́n bá fi èdè ọ̀pẹ yẹn ta fi ṣiṣẹ́ lórí data. Data ni nǹkan tí téèyàn bá lọ bá babaláwo ń sìn, nǹkan téèyàn bá lọ, ìṣòro téèyàn bá lọ síbẹ̀, that's data. Tí gbogbo àwọn ètò Ifá yẹn, gbogbo àwọn tó fi ń ṣe ìdáfá, èdè Ifá, èdè ọ̀pẹ, téèyàn bá fi ṣiṣẹ́ lórí data yẹn, òun ló máa ń fún wa ní Ifá information or Ifá info. Now information is a special kind of information. It's not like it's no longer the data, the kind of data that the client brought. Now this one has been worked on in the language of Ifá. The language of Ifá is Ifá binary digits. Èdè Ifá ni àwọn babaláwo máa ń pè ní èdè ọ̀pẹ. Òun náà ni à ń wò yìí. So èdè Ifá ni à ń wò ní fọ́nrán. This is the language of Ifá. So by the time I introduce us to the formula that we can use to decode this language for scientific and tech aspects, context, be able to understand this language better, how we can use this language to study any field of knowledge. We should know that all the fields of knowledge, this language, they are encoded here. So the information that is conveyed by this system is what we call Ifá information. So let me. So Ifá information, we call it the information for everything. That means the information from the system Ifá, or the information that has been worked on, that has been processed using the language of Ifá, contains information on everything, all subjects. So what's wrong with this app? Okay, it's showing now. So Ifá information is information that is expressed in the language of Ifá, in Ifá language. What do we mean by expression of information in language of Ifá, in Ifá language? Here it entails representing the information in terms of energy. Here in this field we are all about energy, the energy of something, the energy of any field, the energy of any technology, the energy of any system, the energy of anything at all. We model it using the old Ifá, using the Ifá binary digits. I'm going to introduce us to Ifá numbers, Ifá algebra. Because I'm a Ifá algebra ṣe ni a fi máa ń ṣe ìgbékalẹ̀ gbogbo ìmọ̀ tí ó wà láyé. Nǹkan tá a máa ń fi àwọn nǹkan Ifá, àwọn nǹkan èlò ìṣirò Ifá object, Ifá mathematical object tàbí wọ́n máa ń ṣe ní Ifá algebra. So tá a bá lo àwọn ètò yìí, tá a bá lò wọ́n láti fi kọ́ ẹ̀kọ́, ó máa jẹ́ kí ìmọ̀ tá a máa ní ó máa rìn ilẹ̀ dáadáa. Ní àpẹẹrẹ tá a bá fi àwọn ètò yìí, tá a bá fi wọ́n kọ́ ìmọ̀ art, ìmọ̀ marketing, ìmọ̀ AI, ìmọ̀ nípa ẹ̀kọ́ èyí ohun tí ò bá jẹ́, a máa lè kọ́ ẹ̀kọ́ bí àwọn babaláwo bó ṣe máa ń kọ́ ẹ̀kọ́, bó ṣe máa ń ṣe science, bó ṣe ń ṣe ìmọ̀ ìjìnlẹ̀. Torí ètò tá à ń lò ní èní òyìnbó ni ó mú ètò yẹn wá. So if you can learn this is, if you know Ifá information, we know Ifá computing, we know Ifá mathematics, it's going to enable us to do science the way our forefathers used to do it. because our system of education in Africa is based on what the Europeans what they brought. But that's not the way our forefathers used to do science. Our forefathers used to do science using energetic approach. Their own approach is all about energy. Energy. It's all about Orisha philosophy. We also call Orisha energy here. But yeah, when we say energy here, we are talking about Ogbe. Ogbe gangan ni à ń sọ, Ogbe gangan ni, because Ogbe ni building block. The whole of Ifa system, Ogbe ni building block ẹ̀. Ogbe pẹ̀lú ìkejì ẹ̀, Ọ̀yẹ̀kú ni ìkejì ẹ̀. Àwọn ni building, àwọn ni kọ́tà fi mọ gbogbo àwọn odù yẹn, 256 of them, àwọn building block nìyẹn. So tí bá sọ pé energy Ogbe gangan ni mo sọ, tí bá ní Òrìṣà philosophy, I'm talking in terms of Ogbe. Tá a bá lo ètò yìí nísìnyí, ó máa jẹ́ kí a lè kọ́ ẹ̀kọ́ bí àwọn ancestor bí wọ́n ṣe kọ́, bí wọ́n ṣe gbé àwọn ètò yẹn kalẹ̀. A lè kọ́ ẹ̀kọ́, a kọ́ nípa àwọn òrìṣà. Tá a bá fẹ́ kọ́ nípa ètò ẹ̀kọ́ tá à ń pè physics nísìnyí, ìmọ̀ àrígbéwọ̀n, àwọn òrìṣà oríṣiríṣi ni ó wà níbẹ̀. Wà ní Ògún ní part ẹ̀ ń bẹ, Ọbàtálá ní part, Ọ̀ṣun, Ọya, Ṣàngó. Tá a bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa optics is the study of light, visible light. When we are talking about optics now, the Irumale, the Orishala did major pioneering work there was Ogun and Ṣàngó, Ṣàngó. The optics is the realm of Ṣàngó, the Irumale Ṣàngó. Everything that has to do with light, electromagnetism, fire, those are the areas of Ṣàngó. So if you learn using this system now, we'll be able to learn about our ancestors, be able to do science using the right method, be able to preserve our cultural heritage, our language, so that these things will not go into extinction. But if you keep on using the Western system, it's going to really put our culture, our language at the risk of extinction. So let me stop at this point. So if you have any question, kindly signify. If you have any contribution. Next week, on Thursday, I'm going to delve deeper into the IFA information theory. I will talk about IFA, the DAFA model, the DAFA system, how it's different from data. I will also talk about IFA numbers, IFA algebra. I'll talk about some mathematical formulas that you can use to decode IFA in the scientific and technological context. So this lecture is only going to be for an hour. So I'm going to end the shortly. So do you have any question, any contribution? Ṣé a ní ìbéèrè? Ṣé a ní àfikún? Do you have anything you'd like to add? Okay, thank you. So we are developing the platform, the IFA information platform. So I think I talked about it. Last class. So this is the IFA information platform. It is a key aspect of IFA, the IFA internet. So gbọ́dọ̀ fi ṣe gbogbo wàhálà yìí ni pé láti ní ètò ẹ̀kọ́ tiwa tí ó dúró dáadáa tó yanrantí, láti máa fi ìṣẹ̀ṣe, yes thank you, láti máa fi ìṣẹ̀ṣe, láti máa ṣe ká lè fi máa kọ́ ẹ̀kọ́. Torí ní education system ti ìbílẹ̀ tinú Ifá, bí ìṣàlàyé tẹ́lẹ̀, mathematics la fi máa ń kọ́ gbogbo nǹkan nínú Ifá. Gbogbo nǹkan náà babaláwo máa ń ṣe, gbogbo Ifá divination, gbogbo àwọn tó ń ṣe máàtì ni wọ́n ń ṣe, ṣùgbọ́n máàtì tí wọ́n ó wà advance ju òyìnbó ti kọ́ ìmọ̀ débẹ̀. Then gbogbo ẹ̀sìn tó kó wà yẹn àwọn èèyàn mọ̀ pé àwọn ìmọ̀ tó jinlẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ wà nínú ìṣẹ̀ṣe. So nǹkan tá a ṣe ń ṣe gbogbo ètò yìí náà ni pé ká lè mọ rírì ifá láti fi máa kọ́ ẹ̀kọ́ ìmọ̀ ìjìnlẹ̀ láti fi máa ṣe ètò gbé àwọn ẹ̀rọ kalẹ̀ development of technology. So tó bá di ọ̀sẹ̀ tó ń bọ̀ mo máa tó bá di Thursday tó bá di Thursday kí Ọlọ́run kó ṣọ́ wa di ìgbà yẹn náà mo máa sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ifá numbers. Mo máa sọ̀rọ̀ nípa gbogbo àwọn ètò ìṣirò tá a fi máa ń ṣe àgbékalẹ̀ ètò ẹ̀kọ́ ifá máa ṣe ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ lórí rẹ̀. Ifá nọ́mbà ni eléyìí. Ifá nọ́mbà ni àwọn òǹkà ifá tó a máa sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ẹ̀. Àwọn òǹkà lè bí ṣe sọ tẹ́lẹ̀ àwọn òǹkà tí wọ́n ní agbára ju àwọn èyí tá à ń kọ́ ní school lọ torí àwọn gbogbo èyí tá à ń kọ́ táwọn èèyàn ń kọ́ ní ilé ẹ̀kọ́ àwọn tí ifá yẹn kó gbogbo ẹ̀ sínú wọ́n kó sínú ni. So that's why we call it the number of everything. Gbogbo nọ́mbà gbogbo òǹkà pátápátá ni ó wà nínú ifá. So a máa ṣe ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ní orí ètò yìí. So ìwúlò ilé náà ni pé nǹkan tá a fi ń ṣe ni a fi ń kọ́ ẹ̀kọ́ gbogbo ẹ̀kọ́ tí ó wà láyé la fi ń ṣe la fi ń kọ́ nǹkan táwọn ògbà àwọn kíni wà fún mi yẹn. So tá a bá lè ṣe gbogbo àwọn ètò yìí ojú táwọn èèyàn máa fi ń wo ìṣẹ̀ṣe gan máa yàtọ̀ ojú tó fi ń wo àwa èèyàn adúláwọ̀ ilẹ̀ adúláwọ̀ máa yàtọ̀ tá a bá mú kára mọ́ gbogbo àwọn ètò báyìí torí ní ayé òde òní àwa adúláwọ̀ à ní nǹkan gbòógì ta lè ní pé à ń gbé jáde gbé kí ló jáde láti ní ìṣẹ̀ṣe lẹ́yìn nǹkan táwọn òyìnbó wa jíkó tó fi ṣe àgbékalẹ̀ gbogbo àwọn ètò wọn ṣùgbọ́n nǹkan ta lè ní pé àwa gangan là ń ṣe ní ayé òde òní à ní ètò yẹn gbogbo ètò tí à ń lò àwọn bàbá wa lọ ti ṣiṣẹ́ yẹn sílẹ̀ wọ́n ti ṣe sílẹ̀ gbogbo ètò sáyẹ́nsì technology àwọn bàbá ni wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ engineering àwọn bàbá ni wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ gbogbo àwọn ètò yìí ṣùgbọ́n torí àwọn èsì tí àwọn òyìnbó kó wa tí àwọn arábò kó wa kò jẹ́ kí àwọn náà lè ṣe iṣẹ́ ńlá bẹ́ẹ̀ náà sílẹ̀ fún àwọn ọmọ wa tí ó ń bọ̀. So tá a bá ń gbé àwọn ètò báyìí jáde àwọn náà ní pé àǹkọ́ báyìí ni ló ń jáde láti ilẹ̀ adúláwọ̀ ilẹ̀ Áfíríkà sí àgbáyé nǹkan báyìí ló ń jáde láti inú ìṣẹ̀ṣe ojú táwọn èèyàn fi ń wo ìṣẹ̀ṣe tó fi ń wo Ifá tó fi ń wo Áfíríkà gan ó máa yàtọ̀ tá a bá lè ní àwọn ètò ìwádìí ètò ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ètò ìmọ̀ ẹ̀rọ bíi eléyìí. So mo dúpẹ́ ní lọ́wọ́ gbogbo Mama Adenike ṣe gan tí fún àtìlẹ́yìn yìí. So everybody that attended the lecture, I'm highly appreciative of our support, of our contribution to the program. So I'm going to end the live now. The live was scheduled for just an hour because I had a stressful day today at work. So Emma, tó bá dọjọ́ Thursday, I'm going to talk about the subject deeper. I'm looking at a way to make the class more interesting and more exciting. Ẹ ṣé gan ma, mo dúpẹ́ o. Yes, you are welcome.